Are you interested in investing in Alibaba? Are you curious how much this company could be worth in the next 12 to 18 months? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down some of the bigger elements that belong to Alibaba and explain why I have Alibaba in my portfolio. Stay tuned to find out. Welcome. I'm Wayne from WES Investments, bringing you stock market news, portfolio updates, and training on how to make money in the market, all on this channel. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you're notified of my new videos. Now the boring bits first. I'm not a financial professional. This is not financial advice. Everyone's financial situation is different, and you should not be taking financial advice from a random person on YouTube. So if you are, please go get some proper advice. Now, when I started planning this video to give you a good deep dive into Alibaba, I was going to try and explain all the different elements and different companies that Alibaba owns, or is the fingers that Alibaba has in the different pies. But the issue is there's just so much of it. And when I started to write it all down and go through it all, I realised that it would take me hours to explain it. And if I hadn't fallen asleep, you definitely would have done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a very quick overview on what kind of a business Alibaba is and what I expect from it in the future. So if you don't know already, Alibaba started as a website for factories in China to sell internationally. It is now the go-to website for anyone wanting something manufactured. I personally have used it a number of times and it's great. Since the success of that website, the company has been very smart with its cash, constantly growing and innovating. Jack Ma, who is the person who created Alibaba, has set up an amazing team in the company. And even though Jack has now left the company, they are all still constantly moving onwards and upwards. Looking through each business, you can see constant innovations with each one. New reasons why each individual business is going to grow more. This is a company that owns a huge number of e-commerce websites that caters for everything, both for domestic customers and then completely separate websites for international customers, helping to export Chinese products around the world. To me, Alibaba is one of the biggest reasons that China's had such success and growth. Without the Alibaba website, many factories in China would find it much harder to find international customers. But looking outside of that e-commerce world, Alibaba has either outright ownership or significant stakes in so many businesses, and I'm just going to go over a few of them now really quickly. It's got its own web browser and search engine, which is UC Browser and Shenma. Sorry, I'm just going to stop quickly. Right, obviously, I don't speak Mandarin. There's a good chance I'm probably going to butcher a lot of pronunciations going forward. If you're easily offended by butchering of pronunciations, it's probably better that you turn off now. So, the UC Browser and Shenma for the search engine. News, they own the South China Morning Post. Social media, they've got Sina Weibo. Video-wise, they have UQ, which is kind of like a Netflix. Tudo, which is kind of like a YouTube. And Alibaba Pictures, where they create and film their own content. Games and music platforms, venture capital, cloud services, payment services, logistics, brick and mortar retail supermarkets, marketing and data management, as well as a host of small localized services such as L.me, which is kind of like a Chinese version of Deliveroo. Whew. So not only is this company everywhere, but it seems to be coming up with new investment, innovation, or new startups constantly. If you look at Alibaba's finances, you will see that it's constantly growing its revenue and profits every single year. If you look at them, every 2 years, the company seems to be doubling or thereabouts the revenue and profit. Normally with this, like some other companies, you would be concerned because maybe they've kind of reached their peak and they kind of catching that top of the market. However, because of the growth with Alibaba's business model, the fact that it's still expanding and is still has considerable growth options. Just look at the domestic market in China. It is growing massively, and as it does, so will the revenue of the domestic businesses of Alibaba. As the rest of the world and e-commerce businesses like Amazon grow, this will help grow the international aspects of Alibaba, because if you don't know already, probably about half of the products on Amazon come from Alibaba or AliExpress. There is entire business models of small businesses where you can find on YouTube of people who go to Alibaba, they get their product manufactured, and they just get it sent straight to Amazon warehouses, and it gets fulfilled by there. Really great business model, and makes a lot of people a lot of money, and that's only going to continue growing. So as Amazon grows and all that revenue from them grows, that money is also going to filter through to Alibaba. And the thing is, as that money then flows into Alibaba, it flows through to Chinese businesses, which improves the Chinese economy, gives the people of China more money, who then obviously increase domestic spending, which again comes back into Alibaba's other business elements. So you can see that constant loop of everything else that grows feeds back into Alibaba in some way. Further to that, the innovations from Alibaba can quite easily spread globally, just like the cloud computing business, but also all of the different startup businesses. Things like the payment solutions, everything that's working really well in China could very well easily move to other countries and work well in those environments as well. So there's definitely plenty of room for international expansion for so many different elements of this business. I can see Alibaba reaching a trillion RMB in revenue over a 1 year period within the next 2 years. Because the fiscal year 2020 for Alibaba, they had revenue of 500 billion RMB. So if they can double this like they have done throughout their past, every 2 years, like I've just said, every 2 years they've been doubling their revenue. So it's by no stretch of the imagination that they can get from 500 billion up to a trillion in 2 years' time. And that would be a revenue of 1 trillion RMB, which is 150 billion US dollars. So aside from innovation, what else makes Alibaba investable? Well, just think of all the data that these businesses have on their customers. These are companies that have so much information on its customers that it can create the most amazing focus on making sure that any products launched are not only viable, but can also be advertised in the most effective way possible. Imagine putting Amazon, Google and Facebook together and pooling all that data for the USA. And that is the kind of data that Alibaba will have for China. The potential to find gaps in the market, to know which areas are ripe for which services based on customer behaviour. For me, this is so exciting for Alibaba's future. So those are my thoughts. What about you? What do you think of Alibaba? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.